live.
Everybody's probably chomping at the bit. We're sitting here bullshitting, carrying on.
They just got off my live.
They just got off his live.
I told them I was getting off so I could come here and be with you, boo.
Oh. Got it. Whoops. What is up, fellas?
Hopping out the chat.
So far. Where are we at? There we go. Yeah, we're back. It's Wednesday the 9th, and it's something we're back again doing, power stroking, talking about everybody's power stroke problems if they have them. We welcome you to visit the comment section and get in the chat and carry on with us. We were just talking before we started with DS and CP and Ford Boss about some programming he's got going on, and just what we really have to go through being a dealer tech, programming with FDRS and IDS, and something I really recommend you guys getting ForeScan. It's just another tool that really ultimately helps us communicate with the vehicle, because we're really dead unless you're doing brakes or something obvious, replacing a door panel or something. If you have to program, code something, data stream, we have to talk to the vehicle. And upcoming on the channel, we got some goodies that were just sent in. Ford Boss, we appreciate you putting out the word, and we have some a TPMS thing too. A lot of guys have been asking me how to program your tire pressure sensor, so if you guys don't have that slick tool, we got something maybe you guys want to check out. Ford Asset Tech, what up, Vince? Grandpa Vince. Hey. P-Mac, Zeekster. What up? Brian. Yeah, this guy's probably, I'm probably going to guess, let's see, it's got to be 75, maybe 78, high humidity. Probably just
74.
rained on you.
And rain. Well, it rained earlier.
Got a lot going on at work. A lot of work. A lot of stuff going on.
Did high voltage battery class this week.
That's important. I have that class coming up. Rich, have you taken that class?
What class?
High voltage battery.
High voltage battery?
Mach-E.
I don't think so. No.
It's a 2-day class. It's fun.
Not yet.
You got to have a set, though, if you're going to go into that pack.
Is it online, or you got to go physically be there?
Physically go there.
Yeah. I think they're trying to get the diesel guy up to speed completely before they start sending other people, because he's good, but they're trying to get him across the board through everything that he needs, and then they'll start sending other people.
You definitely have to have a pair to go into that pack. 300 to 400 volts.
Oof. Wow.
So there was another tech, and he had a Mach-E, and he said his TikTok was, after 9 months of being down in the dealership in my stall, taking up one of my stalls,
Oof.
I finally have the problem fixed. And through all of the diagnostics and everything, it came down to him taking the pack out, dissecting everything, and then testing each one of the cells individually or something like that. And he said,
can do that with a scan tool.
Well, they had him do it for some specific reason.
Wow.
It was all through, I think, engineering or something like that, hotline. And one cell, he said, was like 0.2 of a volt off of all the other cells, and it was enough to take down the entire system. And he said, yep, I've been waiting on a battery for 9 months, and it finally came in, and he got it back up and rolling.
Wow.
I believe it.
Somebody's already talking about diesel prices since we last talked last Wednesday. What is your diesel price now? I'm not even gonna say it. Wait till you guys see this. This is freaking outrageous. I don't know what is going on, but
Well,
this is.
today it was like 4:30.
Look at this.
Are you kidding me?
Look at this.
Dude, you're $1 ahead of me.
Look at this. That is just ridiculous.
Dude, did I send you a picture of those tanks I was looking at?
No.
I was thinking
Oh, yeah,
about
you
just
did.
getting
Yeah.
like a tank.
659. Oh my God.
Ugh.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's $5 here.
I just filled up tonight, 5.19 per gallon.
Ugh. Good thing
5.59.
I drove the hybrid to school this week. Not even gonna lie.
$6. Southern California. Oh my gosh, this is awful, guys. 4.95 Wisconsin.
It's time for you to get that updated battery, Cody.
Yeah, someone
worth it
wants to
now.
buy it for me.
Guess what?
It's worth
Guess
it
what
now.
we're gonna be driving? We're gonna be driving this 87 Honda Elite. That's what we're gonna be driving.
I'm gonna be driving my bicycle behind me.
That's what we're gonna be driving. 659 North Cal, sorry. 529 Northern Virginia. 559 Buffalo, New York. Ouch.
I
You
was
ain't-
I was reading somewhere though,
Everton.
adjusted for inflation, it was still higher in 2008.
Central PA 6. Come
2008.
on.
2008 was when I flew into
This is
Daytona,
awful,
Florida
guys.
to pick up my Camaro. It was $5.65 in 2008.
Oof. In Florida?
Yep.
Wow.
2008 all over again. Yeah,
Yep.
Exactly what it is.
that's gonna be awful, guys.
Well, adjusted for inflation. So what? That's gonna be like $10 a gallon. It's gonna cost me like $400 to fill up my tank.
Jake
You should-
Ryan says 440 here in Washington, and that went up 50 cents in 2 days.
The first
Dude,
night ours
you-
went up about 50 cents. The second night it went up another 15 cents, and it's between like $3.99 and like I think $4.30 a gallon.
If you look at it for 10 minutes, it just sits there and ticks. Like it'll start ticking up on you. Like, dang, you'll see it in real time.
That is, if you want 40 gallons, that's gonna be $200. What?
Right now.
Man,
So last time I got fuel, it was like $100 for half a tank. It's gone up significantly since then.
my bulldozer takes 65 gallons a day to run. Think about that. Oof. DS
Look at
need to do a fuel surcharge.
the truck drivers or whatever. They showed going from like 600, 500 and something or 600 and some dollars to now 900 to like $1,200 to fill up their trucks.
Drill, baby, drill.
Well, that's the thing to think about is like, yeah, it's more to fill up your car or your truck. Yeah, it's more money. What it's really going to hit you is everything's going to be more money. That's what's going to hit you.
Yep.
Every commodity that eventually finds its way on a truck or a plane or whatever. And yeah.
There was one truck driver, he was putting out a video and he said, just so you guys know, this is $917 this morning. It cost me to fill up. And he said, let me tell you exactly where it transfers. You see that reefer unit right there? It transfers to all them good that's in that reefer unit, and it's going to come out of your pocket. It's going to come out of the people's pocket. By the time it's all said and done and everything starts to increase, it's going to be across the board. It's not going to be just fuel. It's going to be everything has to equalize to adjust to all this.
Yeah.
This is awful. Guy says he's having issues with his air valves on his chassis cab, aluminum wheels. Buddy, that's everybody's been having problems with them. You're going to have to either get different valve stems. and get rid of the wheels. Trailer plug. I've done a lot of the 7-pin, 4-pin. It's called a sleeve. Base part number 14489. Just replaced one yesterday. I'd reckon that's probably what you have going on. There's actually a TSB for that. DS, how are we going to make money mooring lawns when fuel is going to be $7 a gallon? Already prices raised 25%.
Yeah, get out them little hedge trimmers and sit there on
You
your belly.
raise. Well, I got some battery powered whips and stuff, but they're terrible, man. I don't even think it will help get those battery powered whips, and they're just so slow. You gotta raise the prices.
You better
You
get
know,
out that old Toro or whatever
That
That
sickle
old reel.
mower.
that's.
That sickle mower.
Better get that. You better get out that Grim Reaper.
Yeah, right.
Well,
yeah.
that's the thing is like it's weird because like at the end of the day, I can control the price, and I could just raise the
Oh.
price again, but it's gonna mean that I lose some clients.
Open the pipelines, boys. Let it flow. Let it flow like the salmon of Capistrano. Just let them flow. Read all these comments here. Just ordered some 540 AMSOIL. Hell yeah, hell
Nice.
yeah. Still having guys complain about that they're having problems finding oil. I don't have a general area. It seems like it's been all over the board, but having 540, 1030, just still having a problem. I don't think anything's going to change anytime soon with that. So if you guys do find it, make sure to let us know if you have a hookup or know of a source. I know a couple guys said they
I
were
think-
at Walmart and they had a whole shelf of 1030 and scooped them up.
I think Amsoil is still flowing though, right?
As far as I know.
Amsoil and Hot Shot. I mean, either one of those. Because now the price of Rotilla is so high, it doesn't really make a ton of sense to run it. Just run the Amsoil at this point.
Mm-hmm.
One dude said he went to the Ford dealer to get his. He follows me on the talk, and he said, "Is it normal for the dealer to be out at 1030 or 540?" And I said, "Right now."
Mm-hmm.
he said-
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know if that's the case or not. I'm assuming because they put 1540 in my 1967, and I was like, "They put 1540 in it? Do you think it'll be a problem?" And I said, "Well," I said, "let me reach out to the guys whenever I get on a live stream on Wednesday. I've never seen one of these new 6.7 guys do that. Let's talk about the pros and cons of it, or could there be an issue?"
Down here, it's not that big of an issue because it's
No,
hot.
it's great.
He's in
It's
northern
great for down there.
Texas.
He's good.
He's in northern Texas, but he said lately with the swing of the weather patterns and everything, they'll get 3 or 4 days in a row of really cold weather that they're not used to. And he's like, I don't know if I should be putting 1540 in here or not.
It'll still be okay technically.
I mean,
But-
technically, if you look at the coffee table book, it's in there.
Yeah.
But I'll pull that up right now as we're talking about it. How about that?
I feel in my opinion, with all the vehicles that I've heard people talk about and have dealt with, I feel that most of the problems are dudes that are running 1540. And I'll be damned if I look at the oil change sticker. These guys are, it says right on, I mean, I can't say that that's what's in there, but the oil change sticker is indicating the viscosity that they're using, and they're putting 1540 in it.
What do you
WTF.
mean? Are you seeing more problems out of the 1540?
Yeah.
No kidding.
So 1540 is good down to 20 degrees,
Oh,
according to the
sorry.
coffee table book.
So that wouldn't be cool here, because that's definitely going to happen.
So here's what Ford says. Share. This is what Ford says. Normal
Yeah, I
usage
see that.
1030. 1540 from 20 and up. 540 all the way 30. W30, W40.
That 040 is interesting, huh? Because like right now in the shortage, you might be able to find you some 040. That's what I did. I couldn't find 540 Rotella. I used 040 Rotella.
This is literally what Ford says. Take it as
And
you
I mean,
wish.
it's almost the same thing as a 540, the 040. I mean, it seems it's not like it's thin. It's still a 40 weight.
I mean, you can plug it in at night, like Monster says. Plug it in. 1540 shouldn't be an issue because it's going to be warm.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I've never put 540 in any of the fleet trucks that we serviced at Bartow. We had 1540 on the reel, and that's what we used. But it's always hot down here for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the 040 in there. That was, I think that was my third oil change. Now I have Amsoil 1030 in it right now. Coming up on another oil change.
Did you run the Amsoil 040?
Yeah.
I did too. Before this one, before this oil
What was,
change, the
what
Rotella.
was the hot shots, the PAO you ran?
That was 540.
Okay.
And
Chris,
I mean,
Chris
dang,
Peterson says, "What's up, Ford boss?"
What's up, man?
that 040 was pretty dang good.
I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm just writing my 2-page story for this nightmare.
Daddy Diesel. What are you running next, A-Rod? I don't know. I had talked to my boy Hervey, and I know he was asking how many miles I had on the oil right now, and just creeping up on 5,000. I think I'm going to be changing it in a couple of weeks. Be putting a couple miles on it here next week, but I don't know, either 540 or 1030. If I can find that, I don't know if I'll be getting Amsoil, but I have not ran the Hot Shots one. I know DS was the only one I know that's ran it in his 450, but
It's probably my favorite one of all.
I know I have experienced something weird, and it's happened twice now, and the temperatures were in the 20s both times. I started the truck up in the morning and immediately, started up, let it idle for, a couple minutes and went to take off. And I'm just going through the neighborhood and I heard really loud, like fuel knocking noise. And I kind of eased out and, tipped back in and I heard it again. I'm like, what the heck?
Fuel
And-
knocking like from combustion, like the
Yeah, it
like
was
that kind of-
really, yeah, it was really weird. It's the second time that it's happened, and it's been in the morning. It's never been, after hot soak or something, or later on in the day. I don't know. Anyone ever run Redline? Not even sure if they make a diesel oil. Pretty sure they do run that in my Harley. Redline. I've never. Whoa! Look at that. Ford Boss is busting it. Redline synthetic oil. I like that old school can or quart. One U.S. quart. Daddy Diesel. There you go. Boosted engine protection 530. Oh wow. Is that what's in your Panther?
No, the Rotella full synthetic 5W30 gas truck formula is in there now. And I got to tell you right now, the cold start with that 5W30 full synthetic from Rotella is by far the quietest of all the oils so far.
Wow.
Yeah.
Quietest, like smooth.
Okay, okay, okay. My
There's one of the
26.7 is always loud and noisy compared to my 19 I've had. Well, this is my first one, so. Yeah, but diesel red line. I don't know. Are you in auto mode when seeing this, or do you have the vent button pushed? When I first got mine, I thought the same thing, and then I realized it was just because I was using auto mode.
it's weird. Like some guys are saying like what oil they like, and then other guys will say they're all the same. It doesn't matter. You just oil's oil. You cannot tell. There is no difference.
Sometimes my 21 doesn't start. Starter spins but doesn't engage the ring gear. Starter needs to be shimmed or a new flex plate ? I would say that maybe there's something wrong with the starter and it's just not coming out. We don't need to shim nothing. If you needed the new flex plate.
Are you hearing it turn? Are you hearing it move? Is it, but it's not coming out? What is it doing? Is there any sound coming from it when it doesn't start?
Starter's spinning, but it's not cranking.
So it's a starter problem. Starter needs to be replaced, 100%.
Does Super Duty navigation take into account routing with trailers?
Or check connection at the starter. And if connection's good.
I think there is actually like a setting, like, you know how you can pick, you know, toll roads. There may be a thing where it says towing, because
I
maybe they'll
talked to
tell
a
you.
guy who was running a separate GPS, like a Garmin. And he was doing it because his RV was so tall that he had to go through certain underpasses and things like that. So he had a whole separate GPS just for towing. So I don't think the factory GPS can do that.
6.2 intake manifold runner noise. Anything you're doing it
Yes.
to quiet it down?
Yep. You go to the passenger side of the vehicle to verify that 100% it's a runner, and you unplug the vacuum line going, or unplug the connector going to the vacuum solenoid and verify that the sound goes away. They are on a huge back order on those intakes right now. So good luck finding one. We finally got one after like, I want to say, it took us like 3 or 4 weeks to get one. And we had a big railroad company come in when it came in, and we replaced it. The sound and everything went away. There's nothing that you can do to stop that sound from going away in the meantime. It's going to be there until it gets fixed or replaced, or it magically just settles.
Hit that starter with a hammer. That's right. Go out to the lot, hit it with the hammer. Ding, ding, ding. Drive that boy right in. That's what I would think. Index isn't coming out. Adam Randall, 26.7 slow to go into gear when cold, hard shifts. Transmission was updated.
Don't drop it into gear so fast. Let the pressure build up. Those 10 speeds are known for that.
There's a TSB out that says it takes time when you first start them up.
Yep.
You need to let the torque converter fill up, because of that boom and that boom going forward. You didn't let that torque converter fill up enough.
Yep.
Slow down.
Yep.
A-Rod from Grampy Vince. I hear him laughing right now. A-Rod, you had mentioned engine braking the other day. Are people using engine brake for daily driving? I do. I know a bunch of guys do. I know Daddy Diesel does.
I would if I
use it.
had it.
I know DS, that every time I get in that guy's truck is on.
It's pretty mild. So why not use it? It's not super aggressive. I use mine in the snow and the rain, anything. They say not to, but I do. It's not that good. The manual's like you could lose control if you use engine braking in the snow. Like, no. Not telling nobody to try it, but it's not aggressive enough to really lose control, in my opinion.
Guy says, Brian, he says he uses his all the time. Yep. You know, the one thing, I hate talking about Dodge and stuff, but the one thing that I think is pretty cool is how you can do your high idle with your cruise control.
That is
I
pretty
think
sweet.
that is slicker than snot on a doorknob.
That's probably
So
why
you're
we can't,
saying
because
you're
Dodge just got it patent.
That
you're
is,
saying like
man.
you turn on cruise.
Yeah,
What do
you like
what are you saying?
manipulate the cruise control buttons and you can bump the idle up and,
While you're driving.
no, you're driving
Okay.
when you're
Like,
just
what do you
parked
say?
idle.
Years.
Okay, so instead of you hitting a switch, you hit like your cruise
Right.
button while
Yep,
it's parked, and then
Yep. Like
I mean that's
cool,
okay, but
man.
I just like how their engine braking is a little bit better.
I've
Yeah,
never
I
been in a
mean-
Dodge with that.
How about how about Ford now letting us change wastegate, not wastegate, but the VGT actuators on the 20s?
What do you mean?
The actuators that change the vane position on the 20 trucks.
What can you do
With
different?
the Klondike bar.
Nothing. You used to have to replace the whole turbo if it went bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
now-
was so weird. Yet there was a workshop manual procedure for it to be replaced separately.
It's nice that
gives?
they're giving us more stuff we can fix.
You
Daddy
remember on
Diesel
the-
says you're not supposed to use the Jake brake in a big truck if it's wet or snow on the road, DS.
Right, that is true. But these engine brakes ain't that good. They're not good like a Jake brake. Now a
You remember
Jake brake,
before-
it's
Go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say a Jake brake is so good it'll lock up and you could slide off the road.
I remember working at International when you used to be able to take those turbos apart and then pull the vanes and everything out of the ring. You used to be able to clean off the surface, take all the coking and everything off of it, put everything back together, put all new clamps and stuff on it, and send that sucker down the road, and it was good to go. It was only a matter of time before Ford would start doing it.
Wow. That was pretty much similar what happened to the 20 that I had. It was a F550 stake truck, and I took the turbo off, made a little video on it, and it looked like Tony Stark's arc reactor in his chest. It was like maybe about an inch and a half thick, and it sat down, and they pull the turbo halves apart, and this piece sat down in the middle of the turbo, and you could pull it out, and you could actually see. I mean, this was kind of seized up, but you could see when I was prying it apart the action of what it's supposed to do because it was so frozen up. So not replacing the actuator in that instance would have fixed my truck, but having replaced the turbo, it was kind of an unfortunate circumstance. It's not something that I think I could have cleaned because it was carbon that was inhibiting it from spinning. I think that there was something mechanically bound up or something, because that's something that's going to be getting sooted, going to be getting carboned. It's in the turbo. It's pre-cat. It's how they all are. You're not going to change anything. So it was interesting to see the inside of that. That's kind of what Rich was talking about, when you could clean those things up, put new clamps on it, but we don't break the stuff down that far anymore. It's 6 liter was kind of the last diesel that we had that we could actually break down the turbo and replace stuff. We weren't rebuilding 6.4 turbos. We're not rebuilding 6.7 turbos. I mean,
Let me ask this question, Cody. You may know, but so when it's cold outside, you have high idle, like you can hit it with your switch, whatever, if you have that wired in. But the computer does it too.
Computer
the
will do it
computer-
too, yeah.
The computer is doing something different. Now, what's different with the computer? Where, like, if you're in high idle and then all of a sudden the computer kicks it on too at the same time, it's got a different tone. It's got
It's
like a
blowing out the it's blowing out the hydrocarbons in the exhaust.
and then it may even be
Um,
smoking. It smells different. It's
Let me go find
sounds
the
like it's
SSM, but
it
there is an
sounds like it's
SSM about it.
whistling.
Yeah. And sometimes it'll do a chooching sound through the intake.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, it's just
What is
blowing
all
out.
that?
It's just blowing out it's heating up the exhaust to blow out the hydrocarbons in the exhaust. That's it.
Mm.
It's normal, and it will happen after 20E07 is done. So no one go to the dealership and complain about it, because it's going to do it. Get over it.
Yeah, dude, it was
It's
doing it the other day,
done.
and I'm like, I gotta turn this off. This smells terrible.
Bad.
Just hit the gas pedal or hit the brake.
Hit the brake.
It'll go away.
Yeah.
But do not go to the dealership after you got 2007 done, because it's going to do it. It's normal. They're going to tell you it's normal.
Is
They're
that to
going to
get
give you
the
the SSM.
is that to get the EGTs hotter and stuff?
Yep. That is exactly. I've got hundreds of videos of it.
If I had a nickel for how many times I've been asked, hey, you can just take that program out and go back, huh? No.
Not after 2007.
Well, a lot
It
of
doesn't
people
work
will
like
be
that.
like, why is my truck doing that? And they'll be like, well, as soon as it does that, I hit the brake so it can stop. And
See
I'm
what-
like, look, man, if you're idling, just
I'm
let
like,
it
look,
do it.
man.
From what
You
I
don't gotta-
understand, is they changed the frequency of it so it happens more often.
I wish they told us, like,
What each update was doing,
you know what I mean? Like, that would make so much more
like just a
sense.
short description of it. I mean, that would be awesome for everyone involved.
Yeah, that's true, Fred. Totally. I had those come back doing the updated center rotating housing assembly.
Hey, Ford boss, I want to show you a picture of what I've been up to.
Oh God. OnlyFans.
Reinventing the wheel.
Not those
Let's see what
pictures.
DS
Where's
got.
those feet, baby? Give me those feet.
What do you got, DS?
No, I want to show Ford boss that wiring I did to my 450. I don't know how to show it though. Maybe Cody.
Oh, those improvements?
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know how to screen share it.
what do you mean you don't know how to screen share it?
Well, I don't have screen share on my. I'm on my phone.
Right, but I have allowed more than one person to screen share.
I don't know.
So
if I can
go
do that
down,
from
go
the
on
phone.
your phone and go down to where it says screen share.
Oh,
Okay, then you just pick your little.
well, I can't share my whole camera roll. I have to figure out how to do it. Let me see here. Where would I find this?
430 gears. He's got it.
Drink.
430 gears.
So let me see here.
He did a good job. He was trying to improve a condition in his sill plates.
Baskin Robbins.
Little BR.
Classic.
Cody, what's the best way to monitor your EGT on my 2020? I have the first temp probe from my DPF.
Can't you just monitor it from the one in the up pipe? EGRT1,
TA.
TA, whatever it is called now. I mean, that would be the best.
No ninth injector. We got that def injector. We don't have a ninth one. Eddie, I have not. Eddie, I have not. I just did this the little video I did of the. You saw what I did.
You want to see the
Hillbilly
Super Duty?
limousine.
The Super Duty? The Super Duty?
Oh, we're
Field
going
trip.
for a ride. We're going for a ride.
Field trip. 2020, 29,000 miles
Uh-oh.
at 450, 7.3 liter Godzilla. Came in, and I said, hey, boys, don't get too crazy with diagnosing that thing. I bet you it's something to do with a valve spring or somewhere in that area. I've been talking to the guys, and it's pretty much what we've been seeing. Sure enough, cylinder 2, put your stethoscope on it, and then right underneath it, down about 5-6% on compression. This is the new engine. Ford had it to us within days, like immediately wanted this taken care of. So now the customer's got new engine and everything in.
Wow.
Long blocks.
Long block, yeah, that's exactly what they came back with. They said, no, if you got oil, or if you got metal and stuff in there like that, you got to put an engine in it, LTIS.
I was going to comment on that. It looked like it was going to be LTIS, but I just didn't comment. Sorry.
Oh, dang.
There's the lifter.
That's short block damage. That's automatic. That's automatic long block.
The bore is completely shot where this thing rides up and down. There's pitting holes. There's metal ripped out of certain areas. And then we get to talking to some of my GM buddies, and they were like, that's an LS6 lifter and that's an LS6 rocker arm. That's what we use in the big blocks in the Chevy stuff. And I was like,
Wow.
Well, if you look at this engine, it looks like a damn LS engine. It's set up exactly
Yes, it
like an
does.
LS engine.
Well, they're sharing that trans. Maybe they're sharing engines now too.
Yeah. It's one of the things that we were looking at is like how everything is pretty much designed exactly like an LS. It's like Ford specific block and maybe heads, but everything else looks exactly like an LS.
I know.
Yeah, I was going to comment on your video, but I don't know if I just fell asleep or what. I was going to say that's like an automatic LTIS with short block damage.
Yeah, that's what they came back right away when they found that out. And he was like, it takes nothing to pull the heads off of this thing. I'm like, and then like, I think it was 3 or 4 hours he had the head off. He already had most of the stuff pulled away and cleaned up. And he said, literally, I can have this upper end ripped apart in one day and probably put back on and finishing up the next morning. No problem at all.
A lot easier to work on those things.
Oh, yeah.
What
But-
I wonder what the engine hours were.
But that engine's supposed to be more reliable.
This is not a common failure. You're not seeing a lot of people with this failure. So we have to still see what's going on. And then there was another guy that popped up in my comment feed, and he was like, actually, right at 30,000 miles, mine went as well. It was a lifter that started to get ate up. And he said Ford put a long block in it, and I've put 40,000 miles on it since then, and I've had not a single issue with it.
Interesting.
You know, when
Hammered down in the house.
When
My
I
man.
used to really have LS trucks, GM trucks, I don't remember that being a topic of conversation, but I do know like the newer ones, people they're having some engine failures on the newer LS engines.
Oh, yeah. Right from the factory.
My wife's 21 Tahoe just had a lifter failure at 16,000 miles. Brandon Powerstroke says, that's awful.
Well, they're coming at the GM dealer next door. I know the guys over there. I know the service manager over there, and they're coming in with, 3,000, 4,000 miles on them. Some of them not even making 10,000 miles. A lot of them like guys online that had to delete their videos and stuff like that. Cause I think they got like shops full, just Tahoes and Silverados and everything all down the shop. So like every other vehicle is a truck or an SUV that has lifter failure. And
is it their 6.2?
What the heck is going on?
It's a lifter manufacturing issue that they had to go through like a slew of them. I don't know how many it is, like 250,000 or something like that.
Is it their high performance 6.2 V8?
As far as I know, it was just a lifter issue in general. I don't know exactly which ones, because some of them were like Suburban, some of them were regular Silverados, Tahoes, unless all of them have the big bore V8. I could look real quick, do some research.
I will say we don't really have A lot of 7.3s come in with problems. I do see a lot of them come in for maintenance. I had to replace one crank seal. Five three. I mean, I got a 5.3 too. What do you think that is? Late to the party.
January 7th, 2022, Lemon Law Experts, General Motors class action lawsuit.
Uh-oh.
It's been filed, but there's nothing that's been done yet. From what I understand, while GM has not issued a lifter recall, the automakers has implemented a policy called component coverage, which provide extended warranties for the vehicles and lessees who have sent their vehicles in for repair at least 2 times as a result of valve train and lifter issues. And they've extended it out even further. 2014 to present Cadillacs, 2016 to 2019 Cadillac CTSVs, Silverados, Corvettes, Avalanches, Suburbans, Tahoes, Camaros, Camaro SSs, GMC Sierras, 1500 Yukons, and Yukon XLs from 2014 until now.
What a nightmare.
So it's more than just that, basic brand new stuff that they're having some issues.
So would that ever be a recall, or would it always be just a technical service bulletin?
I think unless enough people complain about it and get behind stuff like this law firm that's trying to make it a recall, it's always just going to be a TSB with extended coverage until somebody gets behind it and all the people come together and push for something to get done. It has to be
if they push it as a safety issue, you suddenly lose power and the engine fails. I mean, that's like a safety problem, I guess.
But they're going to say you still have safety components that would protect you as you're trying to get to a safe area.
Right.
So they would probably try to find some kind of wording to say that's not directly a safety issue.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Because usually a recall is just like straight up like an airbag or something like the cameras. They can kind of make the argument that for whatever reason, cameras are a safety component. So it's kind of tough, kind of weird how that works.
Wow. General Motors issued a service update for 2021 model year full-size truck and SUV models that are being shipped to dealerships and may be affected by valve lifter right from the factory. May have been prone to experiencing a broken valve or lifter lock pin spring. This problem affected vehicles equipped with the naturally aspirated 5.3 liter L84 V8 or the 6.2 liter L87 V8.
Wow.
21 models.
Hmm.
Anyway.
Yep, them DOD lifters, man.
Wow.
That's scary. Brand new trucks. Seeing that TikTok, that shit.
I wonder
bad.
I wonder if they did anything weird with the oil viscosity. If they went like real thin or something for like emissions, maybe.
They always try that stuff.
I wonder what the recommended oil viscosity is right now for that V8.
That 7.3 or theirs or this one?
Theirs. I think ours is probably 530.
Yeah.
Dually.
I wonder if they went to a 520.
We'll find out right now.
I know our 5.0 is a 520, but that's been that way for so long. Well, actually, it's probably thinner than that now.
Guess who has the EGR cooler to do tomorrow on a Transit?
You.
5W30.
2000 Excursion, huh? Daddy.
What the fuck is this? Why is it saying the first thing I pulled up? It said 2021 Silverado oil viscosity 5W30 synthetic blend by Motorcraft, and I was like, huh? The fuck?
Whoa. For
Full
real?
synthetic motor oil design. Well, that could have just been somebody's article or opinion. I'm looking for something hard, like from a Chevy, Chevy.com or whatever.
Ask your boy Scotty Killer.
Nah, I'll pass on that guy. I'll pass.
Yeah, guys,
I have-
this truck shortage is about to get real, guys.
What are you talking about? There's gonna be a abundance of trucks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You see you see all the trucks on Marketplace or whatever? Like my girl, she likes her GMC Sierra because her dad always had a GMC Sierra. So now she's like biased towards all other trucks, unless, it's my truck, then she doesn't say shit because she knows. But she wants another GMC Sierra. She likes them. But I told her, I said, why don't you try to get one before 2007, before they started doing the AFM stuff? Like get one of the old school cat eye ones. Those were really nice. Get one with like
Yeah.
a 6-liter or something.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I like mine because I like the controls on the dash for the AC. And I said, oh, yeah, here we go. That's why.
She likes the one right after that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's
the one
like
that
the
looks-
least.
The one that looks like it has like a Dima or whatever that is. It's got like water on the legs, or it's all bloated, puffed up.
Yeah,
It
that's the
went
one they say it's the what do they say? It's the bailout truck or something.
Yeah.
That one. That's the worst one, I think.
So I'm searching around today while this damn thing is programming, and I have to keep the computer awake. And I'm like, let me go on Marketplace real quick. I wanna see if they got I'm looking for like an old V10 Ford that's in good shape, or like a 7.3. And I'm looking around. I said, what is this? 2007 Chevy Silverado crew cab, short bed, really nice shape, no rust anywhere. This is really what she wants right here. And then it's got a little bit more room other than her half cab, $4,000. And it's got
Ooh.
82,000 miles on it. And I was like, come
Ooh.
on. People are dumping trucks now. Then I'm searching all the 542 valves and 462 valves and the bigger like V10 Super Duties and stuff from back then that were like $8,000 to $12,000 are all now at $5,000 or $6,000 because people are trying to dump this stuff.
Dang, I need to go in there and look.
You should, because you'll see over the next couple of weeks, if the gas prices keep doing what they're doing, they're going to get cheaper. And
Oh,
cheaper
they
and
are.
cheaper.
Oh,
People-
the gas prices.
People don't want them. They don't think they can afford to fuel them, so they're getting rid of them.
Yeah,
Crazy.
fueling one right now is going to be a whole car payment by itself.
For real.
Just
You know.
drop them off. If they're a Ford Power Stroke, just drop them off in my driveway. I'll take care of them.
Yeah.
I'll love them like they're my own child.
You see that dude? There's the guy on TikTok. He's growing right now, pretty big. He's got like 30,000 followers, and he hasn't been on there that long. He's got an old Power Stroke, and I think he's got an old one of the first original Cummins, like in the old where they used to
First
have the ram
gens.
horn. Yeah, and he's got one of the first ones where it's like it looks like it's all falling apart. And he said, "I make my own diesel fuel, and I don't have to worry about all this other stuff people do." He said, "I go to the junkyard." And I get all the used motor oil and all the used gasoline that's junk there. And I store it in tanks. And he said, I run that motor oil through the filtering like a bed sheet. And then I filter it and filter it and filter it. And he said, I do like a 250 gallon chemical tank that's 75% full of filtered used motor oil. And I add 25% nasty gasoline in there and I get my mixture perfect. And he said, my truck just burns the hell out of it perfect.
I burn the hell out of ATF. Straight ATF.
That guy's
Right.
taking it to another level, though.
Yeah.
Like he's freaking getting oil and then mixing gas and making
He's got
his own
oil,
chemistry.
he mixes gas in it, and then once he filters everything and gets his mixture right, he won't pull the oil out of the container until all the sediment in the tank has sat for 2 weeks and went to the bottom. So when he pulls his oil, all the bigger little metal flakes and stuff is all on the bottom and settled, and then he mixes it.
Basically,
Yeah.
he's got his own oil refinery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
mean-
just run it through a 6.7 lower fuel filter and call it a day.
Which, by the way, you are supplied with filters, if I might.
You know what you need to be supplying now is the ATF.
I don't have a lot of that.
I'll get you a jug.
What's it gonna take for me to convert, Cody, to ATF?
You ain't doing it.
Who? Okay, right now. Right now.
I'll put an
let
SNS
us
on there
know- Let
and
us
I'll run
know.
ATF.
Who wants to see a 6.7 run on straight trans fluid? Everybody's looking. Everybody's looking.
Everybody's thinking. Everybody's thinking
Everybody's
right now.
thinking.
Like
Who's gonna say yes first?
Who
people are
wants
thinking,
to,
how are we going to get through this gas crisis?
who wants to do have a donor truck? Anybody got a donor truck?
DS says he does.
You can do it to my truck.
You know it's bad right now when Walmart SuperTech oil goes from 17 to 21 to 22. Now it's $27 a damn jug. There's a problem.
Oh, geez, man. That's
Look at Jason. I do. I want fun. I want fun. Nope. Hell yes, I do. I would love to see that. Yeah.
I would love to watch the pump fill. Hey, that's a good one to put an SNS on and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that would be a sweet. See if SNS wants to get part of that. Hell no, I don't.
Hey, I thought I was going to get creamed. I don't know if DS, did you see my video on putting the FL 500 on a GM? I
No.
thought for sure the GM guys were going to flood my comment section. You can't do that and all this other stuff. But all these people from Honda and Toyota and Ford and
Dude,
GM
I didn't
were
know.
like, guess what we do? We use Motorcraft filters because they're 10 times better than GM filters.
No
what?
All these guys, this guy, dude was like on his Subaru, on his Toyota, on his Honda.
You said
on his
500?
GM. Yeah, I put the FL
Well,
500.
No kidding.
Well, technically
Yeah.
speaking, if it all lines up, it technically will work, right?
Well,
I
yeah,
was running the 910s on Erica Saturn because they
Yeah.
were the same as my mom's Escape. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna run the 910s.
As long as you
Once I
don't
started-
decrease the size.
once I started educating people on the filter technology and how Ford puts their bypass in the end of it on cold start, you're not bypassing all the junk like all the other filters through the bottom of the filter. On cold start, when it bypasses, it's actually filling up the reservoir here and going through the top until it warms up enough, and then it's closing, and then you're getting filtered oil. So Ford has better technology built into their filter, so all that junk stays in the filter instead of going into your engine.
So wait a second, with the bypass filter, with a normal filter, whenever it's cold, does it bypass?
It'll when you on cold start, that pressure that's in there will open that spring up and it'll let oil through until it starts to warm up and it can start to make its way through that pleat. Then the spring back seats and it shuts it off. Now you got all that sediment stuff on the bottom of the filter, on the bottom of the filter, or on the bottom of the pleats and the bottom of the filter. It can wash that stuff right up back into the engine.
Not with the Motorcraft.
The Motorcraft is in the top, so it doesn't, all the stuff that settles and that's on the pleats, it doesn't get pushed back up into the engine.
Mm.
Motorcraft for the win, baby.
Now what? Now you've
FTW.
been taking these apart for a while. What about the AMSOIL filter? Would it be similar, or would it?
The AMSOIL's in the bottom.
It's in the bottom, just like the
like
other
all-
ones.
Yeah. I mean, I think I opened up the nicer Mopar ones. I think they use Purelator as well. There's a certain brand of Mopar ones. I don't know if it's for like Challengers or Chargers or something like that. And then they're high end, like the SRT trucks. I had a guy send me a whole box of random filters. And I noticed the Mopar ones are like freaking identical on the higher end stuff to the regular factory Ford ones. And I was like, wait a second, what's going on here? Somebody knows it's a better filter. So they built their performance cars with the bypass up in the top of it instead of the bottom.
So yeah, Motorcraft for the win there, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
Totally.
it's clearly a better filter. I've opened all kinds of filters from all different types of people. I'm probably 1,000 filters. I probably spent last year alone over $1,000 on different filters, cutting them open, taking used ones out of the drains, hours of my time. The Motorcraft filter is the best filter I've seen so far. Technology for OE base. The Motorcraft filter is the best filter I have seen.
Overall,
all I
yeah.
run. I mean,
I
it's
have
literally
access.
everything.
I have access to several hundred gallons of aircraft Jet A turbine fill
Send it.
fuel. Will that hurt my 6.7?
Yeah.
Send it. Put it
Add
in there.
lubrication, because I believe
add some
jet fuel's
lubrication.
dry. I
You
believe
add
jet
some
fuel's
lubrication.
dry, right?
Better start dumping some
I
of
think-
that
I
hot
think it
shot in
is.
there, or you better dump some of that hot shot or that MMO in there.
You're gonna
Ooh.
need a lot of hot shot.
Oh,
pretty
we need to get a camera up in there, or somebody I want to see something fail. I want to see carnage. Ford boss, I will say, I wear my safety glasses every single day now because of you. And I will say I never wore my safety glasses ever, except for when I was cutting and doing shit. I should be wearing my glasses, but
I'm scared now, man. I'm honestly scared. Everybody, you guys were all telling me, hey, man, when you're doing that, you probably should have something on. You probably should have something on. And I'm like, man, get out of my damn head, man. Let me be an adult.
yeah.
Let me make the mistake. And then I'm in the middle of videoing while I'm doing it. It wasn't affect what I'm doing, but I didn't catch what I. Boom.
You always want to have protection. Always wear protection.
Yeah. I know that now. I know that.
It was funny when you had that full face shield.
Yeah.
Always wear your PPE. Always.
Whoa, look at this. This is Stormtrooper.
He looks like he's going through. Looks like he's going through the zombie apocalypse.
Looks like he's just got out of the Fifth Element.
It's like I just came back from over the pond.
So
I just got the piss shivers and I didn't piss.
What's going on with that Lincoln back there?
Okay.
I'll just bring it up now.
So this is a very, very special Lincoln. This is a touring edition.
Touring.
2021 Lincoln Aviator.
Touring.
3.0. Huh?
Touring.
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 And it doesn't say it anywhere on the vehicle. You can only find that out if you run the PTS. If you pull the VIN, it says right on it what model it is, and it's the touring edition. And it is. Let me just first start out by saying, wow, what an amazing riding, powerful vehicle. A snot rocket. Like the Explorer ST is nice, but then you get in this thing and you go to take off in this with the 3.0 liter twin turbo hybrid setup. Yeah, you're talking about some get up and go. She's moving. But it came in here because a magazine review company that does brand new vehicles, that some of them not released to the public, some of them are coming out that haven't been seen yet, that we typically don't talk about, but this is something that it's out. A Ford engineer flew out. He was trying to update the modules himself, except he made a critical mistake. He left Wi-Fi on and he left over-the-air update on, automatic update on. So while he was programming the BCM, an automatic update came in at the same time. And it bricked the BCM. But when it bricked the BCM, it was unclear of what else is offline because the IPC went down, no cluster, no radio, no ABS module, everything went down. So when all that went down, what are you going to do when you don't have the resources to fix the issue? You got to send it to the dealer. And that's where we come in. That's where we come in. So he sent it here, and I pulled the wild card because I've been doing the majority of these here at the dealership. And what we do is they come in and Ford says, while this vehicle is going through testing, the modules need to stay updated. So, obviously he was trying to do that. They were trying to do probably an investigation or discovery on what goes on with programming all these modules in one shot. So it comes here and the vehicle is in neutral, the window's down. I can't do anything other than open the door. Let's see here. Turn this around. Beautiful, beautiful ride.
Damn. I mean, I'm talking about the ride. Damn.
I know you're talking about me. Nothing.
Oh, snap. Look at that cluster. What? Let me see that cluster.
I mean, this thing is it's gorgeous. It's
dang. I ain't been.
Oh, look at the. What do you think about those seats? With the
I
legs?
can't stand the seats. I can't stand the seats. I think they're ugly.
The seats on these are very, very firm. They're very firm and they're very plasticky underneath, but they do a really good job with the Lincolns to hide all that. This here, one of the big issues with the seats in these things is, say you're a bigger guy like myself and you go to get in here quick and you're in a hurry in the morning and you go to slide in this thing and your butt catches the pad right here, the seat's done. the seat is done. It's trash. There's plastic tab, plastic tab, plastic tab, plastic tab, plastic tab, and they slide in. And you hit this the wrong way one time, and you snap
Dunzo.
them right off. That's it.
Oh wow.
You gotta replace the whole seat backing and everything. It's done. You can't fix it. You can't do anything. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Yeah. So we are to the point where I started pulling every single fuse for every single module out there in the battery junction box. So as I'm going through and I'm following the fuse panel on the wiring diagram to verify I am on the right fuse, my IPC comes back on, my radio comes back on, I hear my ABS module come back online, I hear all kinds of stuff starting to power back up, but I still have no complete functions. There's just an error message saying, hey, vehicles stuck in, vehicles not in park. Radio came on, said that you had like some kind of error warning message, but at least I seen these things operating, and I knew I was in the right direction. I come down here to the BCM.
Oh, look at that.
And it's buried back here. You got to take these two 7 mils off, drop this panel down. And then you got to take a 7 mil out that's hidden here. You got to take the metal brace off, drop it down, unplug the OBD dongle, their OBD port. And once you get that out of the way, there's a plastic cover under here. It's not just cheaply fastened. It actually has side hooks that come over your kick panel, and it's resting on your kick panel as well. So you got to fold all that stuff out of the way, pull it down, reach up in there, undo your brake on off switch, pull that out of the way, undo a 7 mil right here in the top, and then the BCM starts to slide down, out, and then down towards the floor. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get it out of there, but once you get it, you get it.
But listen to this, man. It doesn't need to be that hard. Just quit, get a job at Ford on the assembly line, and you can plug those in all day for the rest of your life. Just those same, those 3 big plugs, just next. Next.
So I noticed the wiring harness was routed very, very poorly going to this BCM. We're going to break all the connections while we're here. May as well, right? This wiring harness wasn't pulled up next to the BCM nice and clean like this. It was actually pulled up in front of the metal and wedged in between this metal piece and the front part of the plastic. So I had to pull all that back through and route it the way it was supposed to go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Man.
So I got that in. Went to go turn the vehicle on, and all of a sudden everything was like.
Do you think that sounds like that could have been part of the issue, having all those wires the wrong way?
There was nothing chafed. All the wires were in really, really good shape. There's enough room right there where if you do pinch them, it's not going to do anything. And they actually do have very, very good, what do they call that, cloth tape from the factory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
that was always a big item, like plugging those in. If you don't plug them just right in that truck or that vehicle, I say truck because I've always plugged them in the 150s. What a nightmare if you don't plug that in right.
So I get the BCM in, everything plugged in, everything put back together. And my first prompt is, you're going to need 2 keys. Okay, I got 2 keys. They were smart enough. They sent that over here. I programmed the 2 keys. After I programmed the two keys, there's like 1,000 error messages in the computer. But now my cluster's on, my radio's on, everything's lighting up. I'm good to go. I shift my little down here in this pocket on these aviators. If you look down here, this is where you put it in neutral. So you pull this rubber mat off right here that's in this console area, and there's a little hole.
Yep.
You can see the outline.
Yep.
Inside there, you take a little flat pocket screwdriver, or you take the key out of the remote and you stick it down inside that hole and you pull it towards your seat, and it shifts it into neutral. So when all those modules came online, it locked the rear electronic parking brakes.
Oh.
So I'm stuck in neutral with electronic parking brakes. Finally, the brace released after I kept pushing the switch over and over again. I'm like, come off. And then finally it went, beep, and I was like, okay, there we go. And I still couldn't get the thing to go back in its regular position. So I asked my coworker to come over here, and I told him, I said, can you come back here on the back of the vehicle and start pushing on this thing, start rocking it back and forth. And sure enough, right when he went to push it, release some of the tension, it went right back in park. So I get in park, program the keys. It's recognizing the keys, but I clear and retest for clear codes out. And I want to see present codes that's going on right now. It's got a frequency issue with the key fobs. It doesn't like the frequency it's seen. And then it had an issue for U0401 IMPA, the little camera system and everything that's up there on the top by the rear view mirror. The way it sees the road in front of you and slows you down for that, like, what do they call that? Adaptive cruise. And it said there was a code set for that. And it also said there was a code set for immobilizer. I'm like, huh? Parameter reset, maybe? So I did a parameter reset. The immobilizer code did not go away. It was still there. Didn't do anything. I said, well, I'll strip the keys back out of it now that everything's online communicating and there's no excessive codes in the computer, and I'll reprogram the keys, thinking that that would take care of the problem. That did not take care of the problem. It was still there. So then I'm looking, trying to go through the computer, trying to look at all the options, racking my brain. And then I go over to PTS and I look for the code. And it says this vehicle is built where your cell phone can be part of your keys. You have to go into the BCM. You have to go into the sections like RFA, I don't know, key transponder or something like that. And you have to tell the BCM whether or not you want your phone to be enabled or disabled to function as an item to work with this vehicle as a key. And I was like, well, I mean, they're testing this vehicle. It's still out. They're writing reviews and everything on it. I'll enable it because they probably want that function available. So I enabled it. That code went away. So I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to get this frequency for these keys to go away? Well, if you look in these keys, they have an FCC ID number in them, and you can actually find your FCC ID number on your keys and punching it on certain sites on Google. And this one is right on the top of it. I tried doing it and it didn't yield me any kind of real good results, but there's numbers right here on the end of this key. They're right here, real fine white ones, and didn't help me. I went to the parts guy and he said, well, these keys on the Rotunda site that we order them from are 902 megahertz keys. So I go back and I find a section in the BCM that says, do you want to program the frequency at which your keys operate with this vehicle? It said, 433 megahertz or 868. So I'm thinking to myself, well, that's a no-brainer. It's 902, so I'll pick the closer number. Nah. I programmed 868 in here. It says put the original key in. Okay. Now remove the original key. Okay. Now we're going to clear out all the frequencies learned. Okay. Take the keys and go take them somewhere else away from the vehicle. Okay. Now bring the key back and put it back in the slot for programming, which is
Okay, Colt.
right there. There's a cubby hole right here. And you just drop the key down in the cubby hole. And I programmed it at 868. It did not work. The code was still there for the frequency. Then I went back, redid everything, erased it again, moved it to 433 megahertz. Okay, now code cleared. Everything's good. Now we're left with one code left, U0401, IMPA, invalid or some kind of miscommunication between the PCM and the IMPA. IMP, yeah, am I saying it right? IPMA. So I can't get this to go away. And I followed the pinpoint test, and the pinpoint test says that if you clear the codes and it comes back, you need to move over to PCM communication because there's something wrong with the PCM. Well, there was. It's just the pinpoint test is not going to put you in the right direction. You try to follow the pinpoint test or look for U0401 and any of the PCM stuff that correlates with the IPMA. There's nothing there to help you. So
It's like a runaround code.
Right. I take it out on a test drive thinking if I'm driving the vehicle and it's moving, maybe something's going to learn. Maybe it's going to see something activated. It's going to see the road. Maybe something's going to come back because it didn't say it was dead. It just said it's not communicating with the PCM. Okay, so let's go try it. While I'm on my test drive, I'm trying to push the cruise control on this thing is kind of neat.
Dang, look at that cluster.
That is a nice
Uh,
cluster. That's the same car that they had in our hybrid class.
Damn.
It is a
Cruise-
nice car.
Cruise control is here. I pushed it when I was on my test drive and it would not come on. Nothing would come on. So I said, wait a second. Cruise control won't come on. The IMPA works with the cruise control, works with the steering column control module. That all goes through the gateway. I've been programming for 2 days now, trying to get this vehicle back to where it's supposed to be. Let me go back to the diagram and see what I can find in common. So I go back old school. Find in common, fuse 13, 7.5 amp fuse. It's for the IPC, the gateway module, and the steering column control module. Let me shut the vehicle off and pull that fuse out. Wait a few seconds, put the fuse back in, power the vehicle back up. Maintenance light gone, everything back online, cruise control turning on, everything communicating. Take it out on a test drive for about 30 miles. I drove the thing to make sure nothing was going on between all the stuff I was doing. Runs like it's brand new. It was simple as hard resetting that gateway module, the steering column control module, and the IPC.
Wow.
I've been pushing data through that gateway module for 2 days. It probably needed a little break.
That's a hybrid.
Yeah.
You can plug them in.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's probably a higher level hybrid than a power boost.
Oh yeah. This is the like the 1080 MHT on steroids or whatever. So I was driving around and I was like, do I still have hybrid mode, even though it says my stored battery voltage is down? And I'm driving around and I see the battery getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until it showed 0 miles, but the hybrid system was still functioning and the gas engine was still functioning.
Like,
I wonder how much better the fuel mileage would have actually been had I had everything powered up and stuff and charged up completely.
So that probably, that thing probably does a lot more electric driving than the power boost.
I get up to about 45, 50 mile an hour on light to moderate, like getting in it kind of good. And the gas engine doesn't even kick on.
Yeah, so that's a whole different thing. That's got way more battery capacity than a power boost.
I want to see a lightning.
So what we talk about when we tell you guys, we talk about OTA and programming and making sure OTA is turned off or Wi-Fi and automatic updates is.
Man, look at all that.
No
flying.
kidding.
Because you're an aviator, so you got to be flying.
What I did before I even started programming, I went in here, I went to Wi-Fi before I started programming anything, and you see it's turned off. I'm not going to turn this back on right now. I'll let the customer do that because of the issues we had. I'll let them do that. Automatic updates, turned off. I don't want any of that stuff on. And then I go through and I do my regular programming. I don't want that crap working while I'm here. Because while you're in the middle of programming, if something goes to come in, you got Wi-Fi on, automatic updates on, you can brick whatever module you're working with and others as well.
Bricked.
It's a nice infotainment there. It's very fast.
Oh, shit.
Watch this whenever you turn it on. You get the nice clouds and everything. And then when you go turn it off, it'll show you how much you've charged the battery. But it didn't do it that time.
It says 100%.
Well, it says 100%. It'll be 100% by Thursday because I have it on regular.
You have it on 110.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Dang. So
that's only
tomorrow,
like 2 mile. That's only like 2 miles per hour or something.
Oh,
when it charges.
You get a blue flash.
Well, dang. I bet it's not that cheap to do. Like this, they're always like, oh, I'm sure it's cheaper than gas right now, but dang.
I believe it's 41 cents a kilowatt on fast chargers.
If everybody did that, I'm pretty sure the utility companies be raising prices quite a bit.
Yeah, that way you can go into 210 or 220. Sorry.
I had to take this off because I don't have that hookup here, and I didn't want to overload the circuit, so I took everything off and just plugged that in by itself.
Mm,
The charger. And then Lincoln, obviously in style. That's not the only thing you get with this. If you actually look at the back of this thing, it's kind of wild because you get that same cloud display right there on your own display in the back. Whenever the vehicle
For the
starts, the
back?
clouds all come up. Yeah, they
Oh.
all come up here. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
very. Oh, it's got a center console in the middle. That's very luxurious.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna
This
go.
thing
I'm
is-
gonna go on Forescan and put them clouds in my truck.
I've seen people do stuff like that on their be some focus guy.
So
that-
funny.
Maybe it's some focus guy that wants a SVT Raptor to come across his screen when he starts his focus up. I'm like, how'd you
Yeah.
do that, dude? And he was like, Forescan and the forum groups show you how to do it.
My buddy Juan called me at like 8 o'clock in the morning. It's like, man, I got a Tremor. It's got like a Bronco logo on the
What?
screen. How do I put it back? And now it's just a Ford. I said, well, it sounds. I'm like half asleep, going. It sounds like you're gonna have to use Forescan, my man.
Right. What's that?
Now he knows what it is. He just was like, does the Tremor have a Bronco logo? I'm like, no.
No.
The diesel
All right.
hybrid would be best, in my opinion.
All right, fellas. I'm gonna cut it off here. We got some big work going on tomorrow, and we're gonna
We're gonna have an after show. That's what we're gonna.
have an after party.
Get you some
let me know.
coffee.
What gas is, what diesel is, where you guys are. Keep plugging them in the comments. I like going through and reading them later on. I appreciate you guys coming through. Fort Boss, CP, DS. I invited Roden. Roden reached out to me and he was going to come on, but he didn't.
Got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He was probably tired. He probably had a busy day, and he's probably sleeping. I'm about to go sleep.
I'm about to go to sleep.
We know, DS. We know.
I'm about to go sleep too.
I'm hanging in there.
All right, fellas. Everybody, peace.